So share with us how you learned you had sarcoma.
I was at a healthcare conference for work, and while I was there, I felt like I was choking, and eventually I had a large amount of blood came out, so I had to go to the hospital. And like many sarcomas, the ER doctors were perplexed to begin with, and really didn't have an idea what the mass in my throat was. After after some difficult testing experiences, they were able to determine that it was rhabdomyosarcoma. Fortunately, because of the area that it was in, they had to determine what they were dealing with fairly quickly, which is not an experience that all sarcoma patients have, because diagnosis can often be very difficult and delayed. So in that regard, I was super fortunate.
How has Rein sarcoma been helpful to you?
There's so many questions that you want to ask, so much information you want to know, but you have no reference point to work off of. You have no knowledge to even know where to begin. And so in that initial consultation, I was given a notebook, and it was the patient handbook from Rein sarcoma. And I wasn't brave enough to look at it at first because I was dealing with information overload, but my mom was, and she looked through that and said, this is really helpful. You should take a look at it. So a few weeks later, I dug in, and it walked me through all the basic information, not only about sarcomas in general, but my specific sarcoma, rhabdomyosarcoma, talked through prognosis, treatment options, and gave a variety of different resources. So that is kind of that was my first initial knowledge of all sarcomas, what Rein sarcoma provided. And then going from there, as you're kind of dealing with a long treatment protocol, on the Rein sarcoma website, they have a lot more really incredible resources, but especially patient stories. And reading some of the other stories of people that had gone through similar experiences and made it out on the other side was really inspiring for me. And I remember very specifically in the middle of my treatment thinking, if this turns out the way I want it to turn out, in a positive direction, this is definitely an organization I want to get involved with. And after I completed my treatment and got back to my normal life, with Rein sarcoma, once I started volunteering there, I found a really incredible community of survivors, family, supporters, and really some of the most incredible people I've ever met. And to be able to plug in that community and see how hard they've worked to drive forward research and support patients has been uplifting for me, and a really positive experience as I've adjusted to life. That's normal again.
So as a survivor, what does it mean to you to start a named fund with Rein sarcoma?
To have a named fund, I look at it as a way to give back to the researchers and the community that came before me and did the work that allowed me to have the treatment that allows me to be here today and support the mission. So it's my way of giving back, and supporting a cause that is meaningful in the deepest way possible for me.
Yeah, no doubt. So what insight would you provide to others who might consider starting a named fund with us?
I'm a proud person, and I have a very difficult time accepting help from others and feeling like I'm a burden. And so that was really tough for me to deal with when I was undergoing treatment, with my family, with my friends, with the community, and people that I didn't even know that were supportive. And when I look at a named fund, and what I would tell other patients is, even though it's in our name, it's not for us, and it's not us asking for help. It's a way for giving those people that love us and support us and want to be of help. And there's so many more of them than you could imagine. It's giving them a vehicle to do that. So that's how I view having a name fund, and why it's so important to me.
Oh, Connor, I love that. That's awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be with us today. You are truly an inspiration to many patients and their families.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.